Hello everyone, and today we are taking a look at the Superstation 1, which is based on the Mr. FPGA project. It is designed to look like a PS1, and it does. So Superstation 1 comes to us from a company called Retro Remake, which was created by the YouTuber Take Udon. So they sell various Switch screen mods and some other FPGA devices, the Superstation, including the Superstation 1, which we are having a look at today. So we'll have a look closer. It doesn't contain any copyrighted materials. So I went for the grey one. As you can see, it's available in black and transparent blue, but I like the grey one because it's more traditional. So at the front, it contains two PS1 controller ports, two memory card ports, and a micro SD card slot. You've got the power and the menu button. Obviously, there's no disk eject button because the power button just presses in and stays in there. Doesn't come with a disk drive yet. The disk drive will come out soon. But on the back, we have a USB-C port for power, two USB-As, HDMI, a DIN10, which was on a Sega console. You also have VGA and VGA audio and LAN. You've got a component on the side here with some dip switches. I don't know what they do, to be honest. Best not touch them. We'll just leave them as they are. You can see the LAN and the VGA there. You've got composite on this side. You've got something called a COM port, which I don't know what it is, to be honest. No idea. There, and you've also got S-Video there on the side. Of the ports. So we're well sorted. We're well stocked for ports. If you want to connect to like a modern or a retro display. So there is the. Looks nice. It does look like a PlayStation. It does look like a PS1. It can play more than PS1. On the bottom, you've got the little cover here. This is for the Super Dock, which isn't out yet. So that's basically a CD drive add-on. It just looks like a little PCIe, a little mini PCIe slot on a PC there. So I don't have the Super Dock. That'll be out. And the controller we'll be using for this is, I don't have any PlayStation controllers, so I'm just going to use this 8BitDo Pro 3 controller, which is, I think, one of the perfect controllers for retro gaming. It's a nice controller. It's a modern controller, but it'll get the job done because, again, I can't test the other controllers, unfortunately. So the Superstation 1, it will work with most controllers. It does come with an operating system installed. It is just Mr. Fusion. You get a 64GB micro SD card with the operating system, and it has a few homebrew titles loaded. It does not come with any copyrighted materials, so I've decided I'm just supplying my own micro SD card here which was preloaded with ROMs and BIOSes. So you have to provide your own ROMs and BIOSes. It won't come with any copyrighted material. You do get a few of the homebrew games to check out if you want to check them out. But again, we're looking at Super Nintendo here, so it will play more than just PlayStation. Play anything up to Nintendo 64, really here. So this is just a bit of Turtles in Time there. The reason why it'll work with my existing SD card is because underneath it is just a Mr. project. There's various Mr. devices. It still has the same DE10 nano chip there, so it will work with Mr. Fusion. There, no problem. There is an operating system coming out for it, the console OS. But that isn't out as of the time of recording this video. It's not out yet. It is coming soon. The Superstations did start shipping towards the end of 2025. The blue ones shipped first. I had to wait until about the end of March to get my Founders Edition Superstation in grey. You could combine the orders. You could order it with a Super Dock, but you do have to wait for the Super Dock to come out. I'm not that bothered about the Super Dock, to be honest. I did order it separately. Decided to order it. I'm not doing very well here as Donnie, am I? I'm getting crushed by that thing there. I think I need to set up the controller, unfortunately. I haven't set up the controller, so it's X instead of Y to attack, which is a bit weird. I haven't been used to Turtles in Time, but yeah. This runs fine. Super Nintendo, all the 16-bit systems will run fine. I should put out, if you don't know what FPGA is, it stands for Field Programmable Gate Array. So it is a chip that can be programmed to be, well, anything really. Here it's been programmed to be a Super Nintendo. You can program it to be arcade machines, old computers, old consoles. It is a form of emulation. We should point out. Some people say it isn't emulation. Whether it is or whether it isn't emulation, um, it is a form of emulation. You're emulating the hardware, or you're programming the hardware on the chip there. So it will behave pretty much like a Super Nintendo, as you would expect a Super Nintendo to behave, or whatever system you program it to be. So it is a form of emulation. In theory, it should be way more accurate. I'm not doing well here at all. But let's go check out some other games on the Superstation 1, shall we? Okay, so we're going to do a quick comparison to the analog 3D, which is the one on the right, and the Superstation 1 is the one on the left. The analog 3D, I think, looks a little bit sharper, I would say. It does have 4K output, but in terms of gameplay-wise, GoldenEye here plays mostly the same gameplay-wise. The analog 3D is a very different product, and we should point out that the Superstation 1 is a lot cheaper than the analog 3D. But if you were looking for a comparison point, the analog 3D does N64, and that's it. That's all it does. Whereas the Superstation 1 is it will do any FPGA cores there. So it can do up to Nintendo 64 there. But to my eye, it doesn't really look that much better. It's hard to tell in these kind of videos, but the problem is my capture card can only capture 1080p, so the analog 3D does look a bit crisper because it is outputting at 4K as opposed to the Superstation 1, which caps out at 1440p. I think it's like 1500p or something like that. But we're just doing a quick comparison here with the facility level. Again, very different products. So Superstation is cheaper and plays more systems. The analog 3D is if you just want that authentic sort of N64 experience on a modern TV. But again, both deliver similar results there, you got to say. So we'll move on now to something else on just the Superstation 1 then. Right, so I guess this is a PlayStation-like device, so I guess we should check out some PlayStation then. Yeah, PlayStation runs, as you would expect, Crash Bandicoot 3 here. I was going to try Crash Bandicoot 1, but I forgot to put it on. I put on Crash Bash instead. But Crash Bandicoot 3 is good enough here. And yeah, PlayStation runs how you would expect it to run. Again, I can't test the memory. I could try testing the memory card slots because I have a PlayStation memory card, but I don't have a PlayStation controller. So again, any controller will work. If you want that authentic experience, you do have to set the controller to the snack adapter. You have to set it to snack in the menu. So you still get the menu, you do get some overlays. I don't like overlays. I should point out in the analog 3D comparison, we had no filters enabled on both systems. I don't like it. If I want to play it on a CRT, if I want it to look like a CRT, I will play it on a CRT. We've got plenty of analog connectors there. We've got our DIN 10, we've got our VGA port, we've got plenty of connectors on the Superstation. But I quite like the idea of just hooking it up to a modern TV and getting that kind of experience out of it there. So I'm quite happy to do that, or hook it up to a PC monitor. But it's nice to have the options. It's nice to have the connectivity there. I'm missing a lot of boxes here, aren't I? So I also wanted to check out and see if it played modified games, PS1 games, because it is like real hardware. So we're playing Quake 2, which has modded controls. So this is modded for a DualShock, both analog sticks. It's basically got modern FPS controls. So you can move both analog sticks like you would in a modern shooter. So I thought we'd have a go at that, and yeah, it works fine. It does detect the two analog sticks. You have to switch the analog stick on. Remember, they had a toggle switch to turn it on and off on the OG PS1 controller and the PS2. I think the DualShock 2. I don't know if a DualShock 2 will work though. I've not tried that. I have a DualShock 2, but I haven't tried plugging it in, so we're just using the 8-bit dual controller. And again, it does work with any controller. It's nice that it does have that. The front USB port on it is a snack adapter, so you can add other snack add-ons, like, you know, if you want a real Nintendo 64 controller. You can also use the Analog 3Ds, the 8-bit dual controller that was designed for that. It works fine. Again, it's got Bluetooth built in as well, built-in Wi-Fi as well it comes with, which is nice because a lot of these devices don't come with that, and you have to plug in a separate Wi-Fi card. I'm really bad at shooting. The problem is though, it might be have modern controls, but it has the classic PS1 frame rate, which isn't great, and the stick sensitivity is like, it feels really heavy to move the stick, shall we say, because it's running at the kind of original frame rate. That's the thing about FPGA. It doesn't offer huge amounts of like visual enhancements the way emulators do, with like DuckStation, for example, will offer you 4K. FPGA is more for those who want to preserve that original hardware feeling, because that's what it's doing essentially. It's recreating a PlayStation. You know, it's programmed to be a PlayStation. The chip is being programmed, you know, with the PlayStation I/O basically, and it does play like a PlayStation. Unfortunately, it does bring with it accuracy, but it does bring with it PlayStation flaws. Shot that guy. The PC is there, but the super shotgun there, that was nice. So it does bring with it some of the flaws. You do need a BIOS for some of the cores. So they're called cores, basically. You can get the cores. I run a script called Update All, which downloads the arcade ROMs, and it downloads the cores as well. There, it'll give you all the cores. You do have to provide, again, the ROMs and the BIOSes yourself. So that has to be provided, because obviously they're copyrighted material. And when the disc drives comes out, you'll be able to play original discs. Apparently, it'll play most CD-based systems, so PlayStation, Sega Saturn, etc. So most CD-based systems there. And you can also rip the disc to the hard drive as well. Okay, let's go and check out some Sega Saturn then. Burning Rangers runs perfectly fine. Here again, it just runs and looks like the original Sega Saturn. One of the better things about FPGA that I've noticed is the audio is so much better than emulation, than just software emulation, because I tried this on quite a few Saturn emulators and it runs fine. Like, it runs fine, it looks fine. You can even get it scaled up to 4K and it will look better than this, but the audio was really glitchy, especially the voice acting. Burning Rangers does have a lot of voice acting in it, and it just was really bad, the voice acting there. But yeah, Burning Rangers, it runs and looks as you would expect. We can even plug in, you know, you get a snack adapter and plug in a Sega Saturn controller. So it has all the same sort of visual features as the original, but that's the biggest thing about it, is a lot of Saturn emulation has inaccuracies, and it has inaccuracies, especially with its audio emulation. But that's the good thing about at least the FPGA, because it's just recreating a Sega Saturn. And the Sega Saturn had incredible audio, and I like this. I really like the audio. Same with the Genesis or the Mega Drive. That had some incredible audio there. You can even select which audio chip you want it to program with. You could set it to the Mega Drive 2, which had a worse audio chip, or the Mega Drive 1, which had a superior audio chip. So you can pick what one you want it to program there. That's pretty good. Burning Rangers is a difficult game to control. I wish they would remake this game, because if you think about it, it would be perfect for a modern game. Did I miss it? No. Did I get hit by that? I don't know. Yeah. You're basically a cyberpunk firefighter in Burning Rangers. You can see we put that fire out there. We nearly got hit by the explosion. But anyway, what I'll do is I will just leave you with a sort of montage, if you will, a sort of bit of footage of the rest of the games. But yeah, Superstation 1 definitely is worth buying, I think. It is relatively cheap. There is going to be a bit of a wait for it. I had to pre-order this about a year in advance. I pre-ordered the Founders Edition set. It was meant to come out sort of end of 2025, but you know, the world the way it is, chip shortages, etc. I don't know if that contributed to it there, but it did get delayed until 2026. Again, started shipping. Some people complaining that they don't get they're not getting their order because they've ordered it with the Super Dock. The Super Dock should come out sometime soon. There's no sort of confirmed release date. It is just a CD drive. It's going to have some USB ports as well on it, and it also has an M.2 slot if you want to put an M.2 drive into it. But yeah, M.2 drives too expensive these days. To be fair, micro SD cards run fine. This is a 256 gig one, and yeah, it holds like everything I need. Again, the only big files you're going to get are PS1 and Sega Saturn. They're the biggest ones, and yeah, it holds plenty of games. It's still got over 200 gigabytes of free space, and I've got like the entire Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, N64 libraries on there. So yeah, definitely worth picking up if you want to play on, you know, your CDs, your original hardware. It's pretty nice, and again, being able to rip the CDs to the system is a promised feature. I don't know if you'll be able to do it in the current OS or when the console OS comes out, but hopefully it comes out. It is a sort of a work in progress project. The Mister project is a pretty, you know, it's been around for a while. Mister. It's been around for a good few years now, and it's good to see it becoming more affordable. Who would have thought we'd live in a world where Apple and FPGA are affordable options? You know, FPGA devices used to be so expensive, but I'm glad they're getting cheaper and they're getting affordable, and definitely is worth it though, because, you know, it looks nice. Again, if you like that PS1 aesthetic, it is nice. The black one looked really cool though, I have to say, but I went for the grey one because I don't like transparent plastic for a start. I don't like it. Didn't buy one of the transparent plastic analog 3Ds either. I went for the white one because that was the one I got to the checkout with first. You know, beggars can't be choosers, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, the grey one here I'm pretty happy with as well. So what we'll do is we'll just leave you with some footage, and we'll leave you with some Burning Rangers audio footage there.
This is B. The passageway to the lower level is secure. I'm going in.
Roger. Go around to the other side of the plant site. Enter that room. Cross that bridge and proceed through the door.
In the 21st century, evil mutants led by Magneto aim to destroy the world. Humans can do nothing against the power of the evil mutant. The only hope is X-Men.
Go and save the city.
blasters on. You're not.
Sony Computer Entertainment Europe presents a Universal Interactive Studios production.
A game created and developed by Naughty Dog.
Crash Bandicoot 4!